Welcome to Gem Collectors with Shawn, here at the Gem Shopping Network. The network has been here, 26-something years. Even though the founder is no longer the owner, I still get to see him all the time and interact with him. And I've showed you some of those stones I have cut. I get to take them out and cut them. He still has that other magnificent cutter. And you see how I just drift off, gone, because there's always so much I want to talk about. And that's why Osif always knows he can take a break right about now. So I get to still see him, and his heart, his basic original passion and love was exactly mineral specimens. And boy, he has got some magnificent ones in his office. So it's kind of neat to still, I think for him, but I think a lot for the network, for me to still be a vestige, a little part of what was a much bigger part at the beginning of the company's history 26 plus years ago. And I am really glad that I get to be that part. I was upstairs doing live show, doing a lot more jewelry, but always did have some really cool, exotic, different everything by way of mineral specimens and carvings and higher end things and all. And as a matter of fact, let's see what side. I still never know. That side, right where my finger's pointing back there, that I showed it only once, but that was originally thousands of dollars. That's a carving in beautiful smoky quartz that had gotten chipped in a shipping incident. So I got it, and I can show it as it is, especially to those of you that, let's see, Charles, Harry, Anthony, Elisa, those of you that work with stones, you could just polish the top. But here's the other thing. Quartz hardness of 7, a simple diamond nail file. I used one this morning on my nails. They work great, hard as a 10 against a 7. You can sit there with the tools while you're watching TV and just soften the rough spots. Then, as long as silicon carbide, the emery, quote, emery boards are those different shaped. Triangular has the 3 different finenesses on them. I know, because I can do my nails. You can just use those, as long as they're harder than a hardness of 7, which would be, sometimes you even see the word garnet used, garnet board, silicon carbide board, or emery, which is corundum, hardness of 9. They will work, and you can actually take a spot and go all the way to a polish. What I'm telling you is that all of you can be, to a certain level, your own lapidary and can work with stone, and you can do it watching the television. I know, I've done it. Carving soapstone, carving hardnesses of, calcite, hardnesses of 4 like malachite, rhodochrosite. Malachite, watch the dust. You can't use it without using water when you're using a high-speed rotor. But if you're just doing a hand file, that would be fine. So many soft stones, turquoise, you can create your own carving. You know how simple it is to actually make a scarab. You can do it on the end of a dop stick. This is as Miss Gabby likes to say, one of my favorite tools is Shawn's neodymium magnet here. But all I did, this was a wooden dowel I had gotten at a hobby shop. And then this is some of that 2-part marine epoxy. I am telling you, that stuff works underwater. You can use it underwater and it will harden up. I have firsthand. So I made this, but it also, you don't need to use that when you're attaching, you can use 2-part 5-minute epoxy, and then can remove it. If you're using a wooden dowel, better to use a metal dowel, because I use heat. But anyway, another story. You can wax. You can use dopping wax. You can use all these other cool things to attach your stone to work with, and then you have control. And you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised with what talent may lay inside you that you didn't know about. I'll repeat the story. I was doing incredible goldsmithing work, setting large diamonds and all, and working in another office. You know, these are private offices where we just did private appointments for very expensive clients. Well, put it this way, clients had spent, you know, large amounts of money. And I was only like 24, 20, I was newly married, and 23, and setting these 10-carat diamonds. It's when the big off-color diamonds, the big stones were really in, and, you know, I would get paid huge sums of money to me to set them. But then I'd set them while they wait, which was in the 10-carat, I usually required about 3 hours to set them in like one of those big gypsy claw mountings for men. And whatnot, but one job, it was a sale of a high, expensive 4-carat diamond, and a custom mounting needed to be done. And I used another person that did my wax carvings that I needed. If I needed a custom wax done, I'd farm the work out under my name, of course. And he was on a long vacation, and they needed the project done in 2 weeks complete, and he was going to be gone for over 3 weeks. I was going to have to carve the wax. There was no other choice. I had never carved a wax. And by this time, you know, I'm like, you know, like I said, probably 23, something, 24. Still had, you know, mastered gem cutting and goldsmithing and done all that. But wax carving, that's another whole animal, okay? You know, carving three-dimensional waxes is a talent that has nothing to do with the ability to facet or bench work. So I was out in the cold. So I said, okay, I ordered the wax. I had the Dremel tool, of course, and I had all the bits already from working with gold. And they had a drawing. It was like a blueprint of exactly what they wanted. And so I just went to carving it. And lo and behold, little did I know that I had the ability and talent within me to carve three-dimensional objects. So what if the medium was wax? If I could do it in wax, I could do it in stone, I could do it in wood. If you can carve in a particular, the only difference is size, you know. I'd have to scale it up. I saw not that I have the strength, but went to the county fair, and I saw the chainsaw guy working the chainsaw, cutting up those amazing carvings of, you know, wolves howling and eagles and those real outdoor scenes, you know, bears out of these big logs of pine or hardwood or whatever he was working with at the time. And he'd do it all holding a chainsaw. It was, to me, an amazing talent, not only the carving part, but then the strength to be able to do it. What a great deal of exercise. And I thought, you know, Shawn, your chainsaw would have to be about this big that you could be able to operate and do that. So I had the will, but in this case, I think the strength held me back. But not when it came to carving that wax. I did that wax. It came out amazing. The client was satisfied. I looked like, you know, they wanted my signature in it. I looked like the, you know, the savior. I did. I saved the sale. And from then on, no one ever carved my waxes. I started to get all the money for that, which is paid well. I paid it at the time especially well. So you're looking at 40 years ago now almost. Yeah, about 40 years ago, and I remember carving waxes paid me like $75 an hour. Who knew? And you know, of course, I never told them. It was just like, okay, I charge this much, and however long it took me to carve the wax, I happened to get quite proficient at it. So, my point being, yes, I finally am getting around to one, that you never know what talent lies inside you until you try it. Painting. I've always wanted to paint. I used to watch growing up the real guy that would, you know, with the soft voice, and he'd do this amazing painting. I should know the name of him, but it was like he could paint an entire scene in the length of the show. It's like, wow, look at how he makes that look so real, and just by use of a brush. So quite impressive to me. Maybe there's a lot of starving artists because a lot of people have the ability to do that, but I found it quite impressive to do. I don't know if I have the talent or not. I've never tried, but I've always wanted to. Okay, so there is a big ramble on from Shawn. We don't have many comments today, so I thought I'd get to some of these, but we have. From last week, I didn't get to show any, pretty much for the most part, new items. This week, I have a whole bunch of new items, so I know you want me to get to those, and I do as well. Okay, so last week, the two questions was, and so this first one might have thrown some of you off, but not really. So the first to the trivia questions was, let me refresh you. What was I discussing and showing when I mentioned that there would be a good trivia question from the presentation I was making at the time? All right, so that is the basis of the question, and that it would be a good trivia question at the time, and it was in reference to, I think, breaking out in song. And so I might have not been as clear on that, but we'll talk about that in a moment. And then the other question was, name the 3 carbonates that could be part of the pink slab. Of course, that pink slab was rhodochrosite to start with. So there's one carbonate, manganese carbonate. And all it is, remember that carbonate is CO3 for the ending combination of the molecule. Anything in front of it becomes what it is. So manganese, MnCO3. The second was, you can also have running in with the rhodochrosite or found near it, calcite. That's often what the white rind is and some of the other colors that are those lighter colors. And that is Ca, which is the periodic table symbol for calcite, Ca, CO3. And then the third one could be that darker and more translucent material, which is an iron carbonate. And of course, Fe, you know, for iron, the symbol. So it's FeCO3. So iron carbonate. Look at all the chemistry you're learning. So easy when you figure it that way. Magnesium carbonate, that's something we've never discussed much because you know what? I haven't run across the magnesium carbonates aren't that exciting. It's magnesite. Yeah, not magnetite because that's the magnetic iron ore. Magnesite. And so yes, most of the elements, metal elements and others have a carbonate that links to them. So the 3 would be the rhodochrosite, siderite, or calcite if you were to name the minerals. So I wasn't exactly totally clear on that or name the element, but I think if you know the element and the carbonate that you would be able to answer the mineral for it as well. All right, so last week, this was from last week, it's from Charles in Oregon. Hello, Professor, Raven, and Rock family. I am eagerly awaiting my new acquisitions, the fluorescent coral specimens. I received multiple outstanding fluorescent collector species, including the 11-pound, let's see, did I get that? 11-pound geode. All right, so we did cover that one. Excuse me, that was actually last week's. Here we go. Charles happens to be the first one that was from last week again. So Charles, if you want to make deadline, just move it up just a little bit. But of course, we will always include it in next week's show. You just get to miss out on any of the trivia answers, which I see you got the trivia answers correct because Econite was discovered while alluvial mining for other minerals. And then REE stands for rare earth elements. So those were last week's questions. You would have gotten them correctly and gotten your name in the hat. But let's see the comment. Great show. He says, ciao, fellow rockhounds. It is going to be really cool to see how you grow crystals on upcoming shows. And I'm just going to flash it in. I've been thinking about what I am going to grow them on. And everything from a shoral crystal that you guys didn't buy, black tourmaline crystal, I think has a good surface. That it would look really pretty with I think they're going to be blue crystals, like an apatite blue. Then I'm also thinking about this Arkansas quartz specimen. It might be really neat to see them grow in a entangled crystal kind of situation. So yeah, so it's kind of fun thinking about that. So I am moving forward on that. I did it once before, not when you were watching the show, Charles, and we had a magnificent success. We were even able to grow different colors, many different crystal formations, and I saw it the other day at the house. It's still standing tall, beautiful formation, and it was pretty cool. Okay, so Charles goes on to say, I'm so thrilled to have won the prize this week. I've always wanted a crystal skull. It is extra special to get my first one from you. I will weave a hemp macrame for it to hang from the rearview mirror in my truck. The Raven wants to do that macrame. We see it. She even has some jewelry done with it. It's great for big pieces, and that's pretty neat that you can do that. That's a real hippie thing, you know, so hippie on. I'm just finishing the restoration of a thin kerf diamond bandsaw. It can make curved cuts in stones. Really? I'm teasing. The timing couldn't be more perfect for getting that smoky quartz. I'll be able to preserve more of the material than I otherwise could with a circular trim saw. Absolutely. Those bandsaws are amazing and work really great. So do the wire saws. The plan is to separate the portions that will be used to make cabochons versus what can be saved for after I learn to facet. It is very exciting. Thank you. You are welcome, and thanks for talking about equipment, because equipment makes all the difference in the world. I love equipment. I have a question on the uranium decomposition into lead discussion. It is something I've wondered about before but never answered. Not all lead in existence is the product of uranium decomposition, right? In other words, is it true that stars create lead as well as uranium? I believe the answer is yes, absolutely. Charles, you're spot on. So if you know anything about the creation of the Earth was a matter of colliding bodies from space. So you start off with an asteroid. So another asteroid crashes into it, and then another, and of course this is over geologic universal time. Eventually the mass gets large enough that it develops a sense of gravity, which pulls in more objects, and as it builds, then it has pressure to the core. You get molten core. This is just really abbreviating everything. You get a spin, you get rotation, you get a round planetary body, you get magnetic poles, you get life, as they are. I have my, of course it'll be already passed, so, but I can still mention it, phone set for the time for the landing of the craft on the moon, because I still am into space, the final frontier, of course. So back to the uranium. Yeah, so absolutely. Okay. But what is in those planetary bodies is what's important. Bennu, if any of you follow that, is that asteroid that they were able to actually extract a sample from, bring it back to Earth. And they found that on that small asteroid body, it was amazing because of the composition, and it was so important in every way because you had what it took for life in the future. So you had a carbon and water present, and that's what you need. Lead, and I have a really neat chart that I'll flash up later when we go to the shot, but a real neat chart, and I'll keep it up long enough for you to be able to take a screenshot of it. And what it shows you is how each element derived its origin from, and most of them have to do with collapsing stars, exploding stars, planetary bodies of white dwarfs, exploding massive stars, low mass stars like our sun, and it is the process and what goes on, because the sun is just a reactor, and the fission that goes on is everything to developing these other heavy metals. So yes, lead is absolutely found and created from low mass stars, as our sun is, and then on Earth, it's created from the decay of uranium. Now, a lot of people wouldn't believe that the largest producer of uranium in the world is Kazakhstan. Thank goodness. Last year, the United States only produced 9 pounds of uranium tonnage and mined uranium, and then only a couple hundred. So we're pretty much out of the game. I have a feeling, though, our stocks are large because Canada is the world's second producer, then Namibia, and you're talking about Kazakhstan, like 21,000 tons. So, and then Australia. So friendly countries, one just to the north of us, that's a big producer. If we need uranium, we can get to it. But yes, uranium goes through a complete decomposition of all these different isotopes, including radon and thorium, and eventually ends up. Some of them, the half-lives are just real quick. Other half-lives of other isotopes take a long, long time. So the lead on this planet came more from other planetary bodies, I would think, than pretty much what happens from uranium on Earth here, because there's a lot of lead and there's not a lot of uranium. And so, yeah, most all of the creation of elements has to do with supernovas, with the stars, and those type of bodies, and what goes on in their engine, so to speak. And the difference between palladium and gold is one proton, just one proton. And so it doesn't take a lot in the makeup of an atom to alter the element in the end. So let's see, and right, so from supernovas and neutron star explosions. So all those exact type of things that I had mentioned. And so they originally had thought that the uranium was produced in one big supernova explosion about 6 billion years ago, but that's one of the more recent ones. But the merger of neutron stars in recent research is one of the other theories of it, but it all has to do with very dynamic events going on with the different type of planetary events, stars, supernovas, all that kind of stuff. So pretty interesting, though, because the universe is changing just at the speed that the universe changes, which is the speed of light and beyond, and that's so far beyond our comprehension. I just stick with Earth here. So getting the answers right there, Charles, well done. Cindy, this is Current, said, hello, Rock family. Only $1,119 worth of favorites this week. 8 out of 16 I would love to have. It was a wonderful show. Thank you. You were discussing trivia. You were discussing the talc specimen. No idea what the reference to the trivia question alluded to. Okay, we'll get there. Manganese carbonate and rhodochrosite, calcium carbonate and calcite, and iron carbonate and siderite. You did very well there, Miss Cindy in South Central Pennsylvania. Wishing us all a wonderful week. Miss Gabby, well, we'll skip. Let's go to Miss Barbara. Miss Barbara, hi, Professor Shawn, Raven, GSN crew, and the whole Rock family. Just a quick note to do the trivia, Vermont green talc. Yep, that's what I was showing when I mentioned, that brings to mind a trivia question or something like that, and makes me want to break out in song. If it was a song, it might be the state song, Those Green Mountains. No earthly idea which movie you had in mind. The 3 carbonates were calcite, rhodochrosite, siderite for Peru, and the Spans were offering a huge plate of those cut-off stalactites from their collection at Tucson. It was magnificent. Yes, those are. Well, I would love to have one of those. On the run, got a scoop. Be well all, Miss Barbara from Brooklyn. Okay, we'll get to your mention about the Green Mountains, because that also kind of tied in, because I traveled New Hampshire and Vermont before my son was born with his mom. And my aunt had a business in Quechee Gorge, Vermont, which is a beautiful, beautiful place. So I got around there. And so I love the mountains. I went to the top, Mount Washington in New Hampshire. That was an amazing thing to see. It's supposed to be the coldest place in North America, or the United States, I guess I should say. And I can believe it. It is. There was rime ice on it the day we were even up there, which was in the fall. And it was already so cold that the winds and the ice had blown sideways, they call it. And so the ice, instead of growing like down, ice grew sideways from the winds. So that was in New Hampshire, crossed into the Green Mountains, and we wandered our way down, and I'll get back to that in a minute. Okay, Miss Elisa says, hello, Professor Shawn, the lovely Raven, GSN crew, and Rock family. Anthony, I wanted to say I'm so sorry for the loss of your mom. We all do, Anthony, and every time I read that, of course, I think of my mom and my dad. Miss them still, both. Wow, Professor, I can't thank you enough for the gorgeous black diamonds. I have something very special in mind for them, because she won a bag of black diamonds. So that's trivia. My answers this week to the trivia are the green Vermont talc. So you are right. That is what I was holding when I had mentioned what I did. I think your question could have been something like, what movie did the green Vermont talc remind you of? My answer, the green blob. That would have been great. That would have been great. Love those kind of movies. Manganese, siderite, and calcite. So you would say either manganese, iron, and calcium, or the manganese part would be the rhodochrosite. So, but you got all the answers right there. My favorite item of the week was the dumortierite in quartz from Brazil. Have a great week, everyone. Miss Elisa. So, okay, Miss Gabby. Here we go. And I saved her for last because she is the only one that won. So since she's the last one, I can announce the winner right now. Miss Gabby is the winner. Hello, everyone. Thanks, Matt, for helping me make a decision regarding the Econite, LOL, because Matt bought all 3. I actually really missed them. Those are such rare collector items to have those. It's not like you can go out even to a big gem show and say, I want to find an Econite in this show. I have been to the shows all in Tucson, and as the gem dealers are flipping by, and I always ask for the rare and unique stones, and never once was I offered an Econite. I got those in an estate. I tell you how I get things. They came in a state of other items, and yeah, I didn't even know really what they were at first until I did some research, and I treated them a little different. But so okay. So Miss Gabby says, since I forgot to answer trivia last week, LOL, again, I'll begin with that. While you were showing the green talc from Vermont, which I purchased, thank goodness someone did. That was so inexpensive and so unique and so rare, and it looks just like the Green Mountains of Vermont. You alluded to a movie that made you want to break out in song. Yes, that's what I said. Thank you for wording that correctly, because I didn't rewrite it correctly as I said it. So yes, I alluded to a movie that made me want to break out in song. Now, for those of us in my age bracket, at least, which most of all of you are, or close enough within a decade, or two, you should kind of know that song that I'm going to refer to, and certainly maybe the story, the movie, certainly the song. first thing I thought of was the Sound of Music. Yes, the Sound of Music, the Von Trapps. I actually went to the Von Trapp estate, which is 2,600 acres. The original lodgings burned down in 1980, and they rebuilt into this gorgeous 90-something room hotel and lodge on 2,600 acres. Wonderful front lawn, and you know, the Von Trapps, you know, and their story. It's a great story, and we won't go into that now. But you can always look it up from just Googling any of it. In the 1940s, they moved to Vermont, and so with, you know, all of their kids, and which was an amazing story. And Stowe, Vermont is the town, so that's where we went to, and so you can don't have to stay. You can just tour the grounds if you want, and it's quite a story. So, of course, the Sound of Music is you know, quite famous. It was originally, though, filmed in Salzburg, Austria, and even I, who's not one of those musical people, was found it all quite interesting, and yeah. So I won't try to do my Sound of Music improvisational act here, thank goodness. But that's what I was looking for. I'm glad that one of you got it to make me not look like I was totally crazy. So she goes on to say, I also did a little research last week on carbon's place in the Earth's crust. It came at the 15th most abundant element in the crust, but 4th in the universe. That's exactly what I was talking about with the asteroid Bennu, B-E-N-N-U, if you want to look it up, which had high carbon count and water. So those are the building blocks of life. So imagine over time, asteroids like that slamming into the building Earth body. There is the seeding of the Earth. Aliens didn't have to do it with their DNA. Nope. All it took was the natural building blocks of life. Because what are we made of? I mean, calcium, carbon, water, hydrogen, water. So, you know, there's not much to us, and life will find a way, as we all know. So it was really neat when they did actually on that asteroid, and it's amazing how they were able to, the asteroid wasn't that big, but how they can even get these little tiny vehicles and hit the mark as they're traveling, you know, 3 times the speed of a bullet through the universe is amazing to me. But the science that they got out of that was really fantastic. And now with going to the south pole of the moon, there's water there. If they find water there, that's hydrogen and oxygen, which makes up the fuel for a rocket. I had rockets when I was a kid. I could go on about rockets because I like making the fuel for that kind of stuff, which kind of goes along, you know, when you have to kind of like break up a quartz vein and you got to use like something like an explosive. All that is chemistry, and kaboom. And I have broken up some big rocks that way that I could never have done otherwise. All right, so great questions on the universe, great questions on uranium, and great answer there, Miss Gabby, making you the winner. Let me see, make sure I covered everybody here. Yes, and everyone go back and do your homework on the Sound of Music. It was a who was this? See, I know that part, but the Judy Garland, who sung the song in the movie they made him? I don't know. Somebody really famous. Okay, so let's get started with the show. Let's show you the winning item. Look at this. This is amazing. And I had offered this before, but I thought, you know what? This would do well just to go to someone that I know is a collector for the unique, and this is it. This is Brazilian apatite. Now, this is Galena. Galena, a simple lead sulfide, but extremely heavy, and it's amazing how many people don't even have Galena in their collection. This is the primary lead ore, and so it was a great thing that we were talking about the magic of the show again, uranium, and we were talking about lead, and I had already had this picked as the trivia winner, so a great question regarding lead from Charles. So who knows? This either came and had its origin in some far-flung asteroid from some other galaxy, or it was created by the decomposition of uranium until it got to a inert and safe lead right here. So you'll find how heavy this is. So I thought that this would make a great stand, what I have here, but let me show you the apatite slice, this particular one. Look at these crystals in this. Look at those crystals. Those are really cool. And I think those are actually like quartz crystals within the apatite. Now let me show you actually the color behind the apatite. Look at that. Look at that richness. Pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff. And look at from how that's hexagonal shape right there, where that little crystal pocket is. Now that I'm kind of looking at that, I wonder what that might have originally been. Certainly another inclusion. You can see the bleeding out of maybe the iron into the apatite, but let me put this right here for a moment. The one thing I did was, and I think I'll include that little stand for you if you want. So, let me show you. One thing I did, because it is apatite and it is known to have REEs, rare earth elements, was first, of course, here is our handy dandy Geiger counter, and you can see just the regular, in the room, let me point it away from this, you can see it's anywhere in the range of 30, 40, 50, in that range. But let me put it up towards this apatite slice, and you're going to get in the range that most of the Brazilian apatites will fall in. So this is, of course, completely safe if the aconite's reading 10 times that. And so it's just always neat to know exactly what you have when it comes to that, because again, it goes perfectly with, let me shut this thing off, it goes perfectly with the discussion again of lead and uranium, and which of course is radioactive, and that's how it eventually ends up to be lead. So with this, having a radioactive signature, how perfect to go along with the end product of one of the REEs, rare earth elements, that is driving that radioactive signature. So the presence of either potassium 40 U-238 or thorium-232 is kicking it. So I'm going to include the stand. You can display it or use it as you want. John may want to polish this baby up and get it looking all nifty. Okay, let me put that away. One more thing so that you can take this screenshot of it. Let me put this up at the moment, and I'll hold it steady for just 1 second, because here you can see where you have the correlation of the periodic table of elements with the colors on them, and along with what they are and created. So if you look at iron, you can see it was created part yellow, so exploding massive stars. They figured out, you can see the orange, exploding white dwarf. So a combination of those two can have created iron that's in the universe. And then, you can look these symbols up if you don't know what they mean, but you're learning them along the way. Here's the platinum, iridium, here's your gold. So gold in our planet came from this color, which is mostly exploding neutron stars, and a little bit of low mass stars, which is basically what our sun is. So I think you can figure that out from this, and I think that was a really neat table of elements explaining a great question that started it all with what Charles had to ask. Origin of uranium. All right, let me take this away and put that up, and I'll be right back. Look at this. You know, these are, by the way, of course, maybe I don't have to say, of course, earth mine diamonds. Or yes, I do have to say that, because you never know anymore. There are so many lab-created diamonds flooding into the market that eventually you're going to want inclusions in the stone. And the diamonds that they are coming out with are so white and so clean and so inexpensive for the size you get. But if you're a purist like myself or like Raven, she's not a huge diamond fan to start with, but if she ever to have one, it better come from the ground. And that's why in the description, I don't know, I just feel like I need to put earth mined so that it's, you know, of course, here at Gem Shopping, we don't sell anything that is not, you know, no synthetics, no lab created items, which should give everyone What was that?
Unless it's of the period.
Unless they're of the period. Correct. Right. Exactly. So the, which, yeah, I forgot about that. So the retro jewelry, like when you see the rose gold and when you have the rubies in them, what was completely acceptable, because almost all the rose gold, or at least a lot of it then, was made with synthetic rubies. It was perfectly acceptable and part of the time period of the pieces from them. Same thing that goes back to some of these synthetic emeralds in these antique bracelets. You know, emeralds you have issues with anyway, and to get enough, you know, natural ones to cut and to stay in and not break, sometimes you're actually better off with having used that. So, to the time periods, yes, it's acceptable. Well, to the 2020, well, what do you even call us now? The 2020s? Wow. Lab-grown diamonds is not something of General Electric in the 50s having fun. It is something everybody with a little money can get themselves a furnace and a big electric bill, and depending on chemical vapor deposition or high temperature, HTHP, high temperature, high pressure methods, and you're in business, you're making diamonds, but you're not really making diamonds. This is the real thing, and hence why I want to find my own diamond crystal before I leave this earth, and why I want to go to Arkansas, and because I have sold so many diamond crystals. This is almost kind of before some of my time here, including large ones, upwards of 150 carats. And my business partner still talks about the time when I entered the office room and another dealer was showing the diamond and he was holding it, and I was all the way across the room. He was seeing who might know what the item was. And so my partner, he had no idea what it was. As the true story goes, I walked in the room as I rounded the corner, and as quick as I could see it, I said, let me see that diamond. And I knew, of course, instantly what it was, and he couldn't believe it to this day. Of course, it was a commercial quality, but even the commercial quality of a diamond that large, it had a nice crystal shape. The size made it rare, and we bought it right, and we ended up making, you know, at the time, by way of a percentage of profit, quite well. So I've sold everything, I guess I could say, from the littlest diamonds. You saw those little irradiated blue diamond crystals I had. I still have a couple parcels. I also had parcels of natural white ones. I still have one of those, I think. I might be keeping it, though. Did offer it for sale. None of y'all got it. So I offered. So let's say that those were 1/4 of 1 point. I've sold them so that size all the way up to 150 carat size diamond crystal. So I just want to go out to Arkansas and find one of any size, any color, and I think that would be really neat. You know how my other collection, other than the January birthstone collection of garnets that I collected the made in USA. What better than the only location in the United States that you can go find your own diamond? So that's just a bucket list item. Now, back to these earrings, 14 karat gold. They have just a, to me, a tinge of color. If you had them out of the mounting and against the white background, you would see a tinge of color when you start approaching IJ. But certainly in the earrings with someone's hair all around, you're not going to see that. Under a loop, you can see an inclusion in either one of them. Technically, relative to the size of the stone, it would probably be either like an SI3 or an I1. One is just a little bit nicer than the other, but to your eye, good luck in finding them. What you do is you find them first, then you go back and you see if you can see it with your naked eye. And then if you can, you're supposed to be able to in an I1. In these, I don't know. I think there needs to be an age factor on that slide rule and take that into account. But anyway, here's an opportunity, basket set mountings, because the 14 karat gold, especially at the price that it is, gold being twice as much platinum. Platinum used to be multiples of gold. Now, for that to be switched around, I'm still getting used to that. So the findings, in other words, mountings now cost so much more than my mind is triggered to remember what they are. And so it really catches me off guard. So anyway, I'm going to offer these at an amazing deal, because at 1/5 of a carat each, at 40 points, so 100 points to a carat. So 40 points, that's 20 points each. 20 over, 100 is 1/5 of a carat each. So nice size. Here's my hand against the size, so you can see them. And there's the basket mountings, and they're really nice and brilliant. Nice and brilliant. And they are well cut for the weight, and that's what you want. And saving money on the fact that if you accept a inclusion like that, then who's going to go up that close with? They'd have to have a loop to be able to see them, and anyone else that close, you should slap them, ladies. Anyway, price on these, how about this? Only $188. $188. A well-known chain company that advertises, I saw they had an I3 diamond. An I3 diamond, and the color was like around an HI color, so a little bit better color, but an I3, oh my goodness, that would be what we call salt and pepper diamond, because between the black inclusions and the white inclusions, that's what it looked like. And it was 1/5 of a carat, so this size, but for one of them, and it was $219. $219. I couldn't believe it. So I'm selling both of these, two of these, for less than the price of one, and these are far nicer. And that was only a loose diamond. It was not even mounted. So I do well not to even start to look at diamond prices. I looked at the lab-grown prices and just snickered, because I looked at them months ago, and now they're a fraction of what they were. So, anything that doesn't hold its value like that, because anyone can go out and make some more, that's not something that I would want. Okay, now, I'm going to show you next an item that I was reading, and I think that they were going to be sold or something, but let me re-showcase item 115-7624, 115-7624. I still have all four of these incredibly beautiful, look at these, look at that, towel holders. And you remember, so what started a comedy sketch was selling the toilet paper holder that was jade. Well, I also have these really neat towel racks that would go along really well with them. I have 3 others, so there's a quantity of 4, and they're really beautiful, beautiful quality. And then they come with, actually, I'll just flash those in, show you the 2 screws that actually go in there. Yeah, and that one, all 4 are just match really nicely. And so the price I had on this, well, let's see. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Let me just get one here. The price on here, I may have to ask, okay, nope, I see it. Good. And let me get that one. $48, only $48 each. And there's 4 of them. So you're not limited, you can get all 4 of them if you want. And I apologize for the noise. I just want to show you another example of them because there's 4. And this is a even, yeah, look at how fine that is. Look at how fine the quality. That is really beautiful material. Beautiful material. So $48 each, and there is still 4 of them available. And with them, you know, could you imagine for very little money, you could really make an astounding, well, we have the half bath, and it is the Fred room. It is where Raven has put all of her different size trilobites, not the big trilobites that you see in the background behind me, but the ones that are black, the little guys. Well, she has them in different sizes, and other fossils. So we have that whole room made up of fossils. You could have a room made up of, you know, precious materials like a jade towel racks. And, or I think it was Miss Gabby, if Miss Gabby wants to add to that toilet paper holder, here's your chance, Miss Gabby, if you were the one looking for these. Take advantage of them. Get all 4 of them because that's a really, really good value. Now, let me show you, while I put away that last one, let me just flash in something here, that there was a place that they had been digging that I passed by quite often driving. And so one day, and it was next to a, like a Waffle House, and it was just an empty lot. And I told you I go to these, you know, on weekends when I don't see anyone working on these lots, and I'll just walk out there and look. I could tell they took out from one hole and piled it next to a big pile of rock next to this hole that they were digging, and it was just a trench. There was no other sense to it. And that made me, you know, made my spidey senses went to tingling. And I went and walked out and went down into that trench, maybe 10 feet deep, angled down, so it was all safe. And look what I found. I found this large feldspar crystal. You can see by the monoclinic crystal shape to it that that is a feldspar crystal. And then you have this additional crystallization right there, which looks like some smoky quartz. And so this was just basically in a lot that I drove by and spotted that unusual type of digging. And, you know, it was a commercial lot, and I don't know. So it wasn't like I was trespassing. It wasn't anything like that. And it was only a few minutes, and I found this really cool large crystal. And even though, of course, it's not great quality, it doesn't matter. I found it, and, you know, it was large. Here, you could see, I think you might have just seen some of the sheen that reflected off of that piece, and which, there you go, there it is right there. Also giving its, and there's a little mica over here. So really a neat item to me, I thought, to be able to find And but it takes stopping. It just takes, you know, kind of looking, and I could see that someone was basically digging out a vein. And that's what it looked like. Now, I don't know what exactly they dug out from the material. It doesn't look like they really knew what they were doing, because if they missed this crystal just for the heck of it, then they didn't know what they were doing. So, okay, let me make just one more bit of noise for a moment here and get this put up. And now, let me do some amazing items that you have never seen before. Okay, let's go with item number 1164124. And this is a little thumbnail collection. And so let me dust this off. And unwrap this. So I had it in this little container, right? So let me just leave that there for 1 second and unwrap this, because it's all about presentation. And, you know, that little piece of parsley on the plate. Yep, here we go. It all stayed together pretty much the way I had it, gooped onto that. Look at this. All right, here's a collection of, look at that. And by the way, these are Colombian emeralds. They are that bright, bright green that you expect to see. There it is. There's that color green that is typical of, and that's exactly the color it looks like. So well done there, you guys. So let me get a little pointer there. And then the Goethite. This is Goethite, and it is absolutely a beautiful crystal. Goethite, of course, is clear beryl. Here's the aquamarine. So this is actually a beryl collection, because emerald, of course, is a beryl crystal. Then you have this really clean piece of aquamarine. Look at that. It is actually a facetable. And then as I come around, and all these, this is not one crystal, so it's stuck on that goopy stuff. I'm going to take off this one to show you. So there's the goop. But look at that aqua, look at the clarity of that. And then look at the cluster of emeralds that you can see. That is really cool. Look at that. Yeah, that's a cluster. Look at the clarity back to that beautiful, beautiful aqua. And then look at the Goethite. Look at how white it is. See what I mean by colorless? Colorless. That is real Goethite. A really, really beautiful termination of the crystal. And then when you look on the surface of this crystal, you'll see these kind of intricate little patterns, which are almost little microcrystals. Well, not almost, but probably are little microcrystals that have formed on the surface of the faces. That's really neat. Then look at this. I should do, but it's too late, but this would be a good one to have tested you guys on as what am I, the white material. You can see when it's pearlescent like that, it is lepidolite mica. And then look at the shoral tourmaline. So to get this little tiny specimen to have all three minerals like that, how cool is that in this little setup there? And then here, look at this. This is just something you don't get to see that often, is even as small as is, look at that little crystal coming off the side. A crystal cluster like that in emeralds. You just, I don't know, you don't get to see them because most of the time, you know, they're so expensive. I don't know what they do with them. I've often looked for them and never have been able to find them. So this was one I came across, and those other two, and I thought, you know what, I'll put together a little collection of Beryl and offer it that way, especially with that Goethite like that. So here we go. Here is all three. How about this? Only $48. Only $48. So that emerald piece alone would be, you know, in that range of value if you saw it to purchase. To have that Goethite crystal with the two other associated minerals in a thumbnail like that. That's beautiful, especially the pearlescent color to the lepidolite. That's something that you don't see, that color lepidolite often with that pearlescence. And then that facet grade aqua. So you just really have, for the size, 3 really nice offerings there. And that would be difficult for me to put together another little batch of, excuse that bubble wrap there. So yeah, to try to put together something like that would be difficult. It would be difficult. Okay, so speaking of difficult, let me wrap that back up so they stay in place, and I'll be right back. Okay, again, a rare opportunity. These we have had for a long time, a decade and a half, I don't know, a long time. I have 2. So what you're looking at is one piece, basically. So you get everything that you see. There are 16-inch strands times 5. So actually times 5 for quantity. So that's probably my typo. It's because it comes out to 80 inches worth of beads total. So each of these strands, and there's 5 strands, at 16 inches long each. Here's the amazing thing. They're 2.3 millimeters each bead. That is small. And then they have to drill them. So with the really cool color string that they actually have and the length that they do, you don't even need to restring them if you don't want to. Remember, the other neat thing you can do, remember back, I forget what they were called, fossil beads. Back in the day, now I'm really going back, I'm going back to a long mid-80s or so, and fossil beads were really in, all these different colored beads that you would make. So what they would do, you'd get a bunch of strands, they were small beads, and then you'd twist them like that. And that's what you can do with these when you have enough. There is basically 10 necklaces, or 160 inches total, because I have this, and they're both the same item number, so there's a quantity of 2 items, basically. This, look at the quality of that nephrite. That is it has to be some of the finest nephrite. If you look really close, you'll find the little tiny black specks that you actually want to see them, so you know that they're the real deal. And so you can see just how pretty they are for me just doing that to them compared to that Shawn style. This is what a lady would do. So I'll just flash in these others because they didn't come different lengths, but you can see that they are exactly the same color. So if you wanted to get both, no limit, you can get both of them. I have an amazing opportunity because I have no idea what I paid for them. So for the set of 5 strands, I figure that $88 is an awesome opportunity. So that is, $17 a strand times 5 is $85, 88, so like $17.50 a strand. For 16 inches. That's like unbelievable. How then per inch, $1 per inch or something like that, a little bit over, how do they even get the material, cut it down to the size of a bead, drill it, and only it comes out to just over $1 for per inch of these size beads. Thinking the American economy and the price per hour and everything, wow, how do they do that? And but that's why a lot of things are done overseas, like this. The things that would be so time exhaustive. That's why actually cutting small diamonds, if they weren't done, a lot of them in Israel by automated machines, they still charge more though. So the smaller, the price starts going back up because it gets so difficult to put 57 facets on a 1.3 millimeter or a 1.1 millimeter half point diamond, and they do. That's that micro pave, that they cut them for. So to make beads this small, the same kind of thing. When you get down to a small size like this, it takes a lot of beads to make 1 inch of length, and the price starts going back up. So I have, you know, no idea really what they, look at that. Look at how just twisting those, how pretty that is. Wow, that's really pretty. Really high quality stuff. Only $88 for a set of 5 strands. I have 2 sets of 5 strands for you. Get them while I have them. All right, Dave is going to get to shoot one of my very last pieces of amazing amber with a stunning insect. I thought I had featured them all, but I found one more. I think I had set it aside for myself, actually, because this one's pretty cool. This one, they're all, those pieces of amber were really, 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 really cool. Let's check this out. So this is item number 1163824. And let's look at this guy. He is, so you get to see him relative to my hands, how big that is, okay. And now let's just roughly, let me get my other hand for the pointer. Oh, look at that, because the insects in so much of amber I've had before are so microscopic, you would never be able to find them with your naked eye. Well, it's no problem with this. Look at that right there. So we're going to do a couple different angles on him. And there, I actually had seen 1 or 2 other small ones in with the organic matter, but we're just going to focus on this one for the moment. Let me bring in a little bit of our magic lighting here, which, look at that. I mean, this guy looks like he is just ready to fly. And wow, that gives you a really lighting them up in a great way that you can see the relief of them, the outside relief of them. And then when we bring the light around, here's another angle. Look at that. So, you know, he got trapped while the resin was still soft, and it enveloped him. You can see as it probably tried to wiggle, it pulled in some air bubbles. Let's go and look at this guy from the other side in a moment, but hold on, we're not done here. I want to make sure that you see everything and know what you're looking at. So, of course, here's the wings from this side. Here is its head. Here are its legs, just very much like if it, and you can see that kind of heart-shaped head that you are accustomed to seeing flies with. Now, as I turn the angle, you can see there the light right there bouncing off of its eyeball. Now, let me do this and give you a little closer in look at that. Wow. There you have. Now that is a fly. You can see, I don't have another hand to point to his head, but you can see the area I was talking about. Look at how well defined the wings are. And it looks like it's just alive, looking right back at us. Now, let's spin this around, and you can look at that eye. There's that, see that dark object staring at you with surrounded by the white? That is amazing. 40 million years old, and it looks like it landed in there yesterday. And as I turn this around, there you have it. You can see it from this side. Okay, there's the bright light coming off of the top of him. And then you can see the wing, the legs, and what's amazing is you can actually see everything because it is so large. And it is something that this piece of amber, not only just this one insect, but to explore the entire piece is the fun of it. Now let me give you another angle, and look at that. Look at that. Can you imagine? It's trapped in time. Now, as we look at the rest, you could easily imagine and see where a piece, especially a piece this large, that there would be other insects in it. And if I had the time, I'd point out to you the other one that I saw, but he's in there. There may be actually more than one. I was too busy just looking at the one. Okay, so let me sit this back down and give you the opportunity on this guy. This is one of the last of the large ones, and so you can see, look at that fly, just me holding it right there at the top. You can see how big that is. And what a great piece that would make because of the way it's, look at even the way it's so well defined and it stands out. It doesn't have like a, around the entire fly, it's a lot of clarity, not a lot of other material. So really stands out well. Okay, price on this guy. I'd love to look at it because on the camera and then the huge HD monitor I have in front of me, I don't get to see them like that even at home with my light using my loupe. I just saw it at a higher magnification, especially on the HD video screen like that. It's a pleasure to look at them like that. Price on that guy, only $88. Only $88 on him. And that is, again, the last one, unless some of the others may not have sold and I may re-showcase them or I may keep them. But when it comes to the large ones like that, that is definitely the last of one of the largest insects pieces I've had. So, all right, now let's keep looking. I have next 116-3624, and this is a perfect piece for the day because of some of the other items I have been featuring. And this, believe it or not, out of the Beryl family is one of the rarest colors of Beryl. And you're thinking, oh, Pozzoite or something like that. Well, that would be quite rare. But I am talking about colorless. Look at that. It's so white that it just blows the screen. This is a Goethite. It is Goethite, and I am going to give you a white background. Look at that. Okay, so you can see as I put that white background behind it that there is no green. There's actually no yellowish tint. That's just picking up from the lighting itself that we have. You can see there's no blue or green. That's the real important part because there's no blue or green or yellow. There's no other color left but to be colorless, and then hence a Goethite. And it's a large crystal, and I had kept that. Look at that. There you go. You get a good idea of just how clear that is. Look at the clarity too. There's some areas here that are really nice. So for a crystal, it's a really nice piece overall, especially because you have size along with the clarity to it. So it would make a great custom item now that I'm thinking about it, because actually Andrew is looking for some crystals to make some things with, and I need to set aside a couple of the items. That amber piece would be neat to make a wire wrap out of. Remember, if any of you would like something made wire wrapped, you saw the last piece with the Moldavite and Herkimer diamond that Andrew had done. He can do it with, if you get the amber piece or whatever item, he would be happy to wire wrap something for you, and at very fair pricing as well. So this is only $68. This is a Namibian crystal, and it's actually, even though I have, as opposed to aqua, it's priced less than aqua, but by way of rarity and value, it's rarer and actually more valuable than if it looked exactly like it does, except was an aqua color. The rarity of a Goethite is more rare than aquas, and just the market hasn't, sometimes just doesn't catch on to white goshenite. I still have a parcel of that. If I find it, I may offer it, of faceted white goshenites, which I had several parcels. I'm down to one, but all of them should be sold. They were old native cuts. It was really old material, probably 50-year-old material. Anyway, this one at only $68, take advantage of it. Okay, now, all these goodies here. Oh boy, okay, item 1163724. 1163724. This is another one of those pieces that I had set aside and kept, and I thought, well, you know what? I haven't offered anything like this in a while. I'll go ahead and sell it. But it's one of those that are so magnificent and not that much money that it's silly of me to sell it, but I have so many other items that are magnificent and not a lot of money that I need to sell them anyway. Look at this guy. That is really beautiful, high quality nephrite. And look at how gemmy that material is. And a tiger. And, you know, when I was in Thailand, you know, and they still have some tigers that roam different parts of Southeast Asia, and so that would be quite creepy because those are big silent animals. And so you still have the Sumatran tiger, you have the Indonesian rhino, which who would have think that rhino can live outside of Africa, we think of, but no, there's some other areas that amazing animals can still survive. So this is an animal you see carved in Asia, in Southeast Asia, more often than you would think that would be carved in the Western Hemisphere because we don't have tigers. And anyway, if you want this guy, I'll part with him for an amazing opportunity, especially when you consider the quality of the nephrite. So this is only $24. Only have the one, and probably won't have another one. Well, I know I won't have another one. Look at that. So you can see how big it is in my hand, and you can see that it's a good size, 2 inches long, for only $24. And so if you collect little animal carvings, that would be a difficult one to find. Not too many tigers you see carved. Things like frogs and whatnot. Oh yeah. Now let me show you something I'm offering. I haven't featured one of these in a long time. Item 1163224. And so at one time I had incredible Spinel crystals from Burma. I had them from Tanzania, purple ones even. And then the ones that were big and that sold really well, I sold out of. But I found one more. Let me show you this guy. Here is a really unique piece. And it's Madagascar Spinel. So that's what makes it kind of different, because people don't always think of Madagascar as a Spinel locality, but not so, especially the big ones, especially some beautiful ones. Look at this guy. So you can see that its basic shape is like the bipyramidal or dodecahedron. So you can see the four sides. This is a little etched, a little eroded. Wow. Look at the color. And so you can see the sides to it, and where it would be an octahedron, same word for all three of those things. Let me just backlight this a little bit and see what kind of colors might come out in this guy. And yeah, so you have the pink, the pinkish reds. It can change color with direction. And There you can see into it. Wow, that's pretty cool. Thank you, sir. And so these, the size really is neat. You can really see the clarity much better just in this lighting and the color. This is exact color what I'm seeing right now for the way it looks in person. So anyway, one of the last of the big crystals of the Spinels from a unique locality and a great price. Only $58 for that. Only $58. Oh, here's the other neat thing about this. You fluorescent collectors. Oh yeah, Spinel, there's a chromium element to this as far as what creates the color. And so under fluorescent lighting, it reacts like a ruby. Some beautiful, beautiful red to it. And that would make a neat, unusual addition to a fluorescent collection. Now, okay. What's here? Okay, item number 1159124. This is an opportunity, and look at these. Look at these zircons. Yeah, look at that collection of zircons. You can tell they're zircons by the dispersion, by just how bright they are. And with the different colors, look at that, with different lighting. Wow. So you have some purples. Really, the round is magnificent with the brilliance to it. And without taking them out, saving time, look at the color to that one, because at the price I'm offering these for, that's just on the tube. Yeah. Don't run away there. Okay, here we go. Let me just tell you the price. We'll, how about this? We'll discount it. I showed it before, so you're going to get a little bit of a discount on this guy. It was a real amazing deal at $77. So how about this? Let's make it $68. $68. And so think about that, folks. That is less than $10 a carat for zircon. Really? And you're going to pass those up? I can guarantee that if it doesn't sell at that price, I am keeping them. That one round stone and the marquee could easily be worth that amount of money. So to discount them at all is something I should not do. Okay, so I have something I need to set up for you. I'll be right back. What you are seeing may be the largest you will ever see, because it's the largest I have ever seen. I was able to come about this garnet. Like when I was 14 years old, you know, had only been a rockhound for a few years. I have had this piece my entire, you know, collecting life, basically. And it is, as I found out more and more, I used to think, oh, that's just an iron garnet. But no. Since, you know, Shawn and his neodymium magnet and the use of the magnet to interpret and help identify garnet is a work of art, because this piece, you know, obviously, if you float it on water and do the drag test, you could determine it. But outside of that, this magnet, even if it stuck to it, if it was an iron garnet, an almondine, it wouldn't be able to pull it due to the weight and the drag of coefficient. So I could tell by putting this up to it that there is absolutely no bond. Actually, if there was a bond, the magnet would be able to hang upside down. There's absolutely nothing for a magnetic contact or repel or any type of interaction between the two. This garnet is from Portugal. It is from the Monte Sumo mine. The mine's extinct. In other words, it's, you know, no longer operating as a mine. And this piece is world class for what it is. It is rare. I finally, after many years, got really curious, and I took a section off the bottom. I sawed the bottom off. There wasn't any other, it wasn't that much. You can see a portion here that I took off. I just wanted to see clarity. And yeah, absolutely, if you took this piece and you cut it up, you would have facet grade material in it. Let me just show you some of the edges for color. Now, pyrope garnet is a, you know, remember, so a garnet is basically an aluminum silicate with the different other elements involved, like iron that makes it almondine. And in a pyrope, it's magnesium. Spessartine, remember, is manganese. So pyrope garnets can range in a wide range of colors, oranges, reds, and you're seeing that here in the different portions of it. Now, I'm going along the edge because of the size of it makes it too thick for light to completely pass through it, but you can see by the transparency at the edges that it is a very transparent to translucent garnet. And I can't imagine, let's just do some surface wandering here. I can't imagine where or how this was pulled out. Was it part of an even larger garnet? And here's the thing, if it was an almondine garnet or an iron garnet, that would be one thing, but it is pyrope garnet. And if it wasn't pyrope garnet, look at that, it would be a spessartine garnet. But if it's spessartine, spessartine has manganese, manganese is magnetic. And this is what I had to do. Okay, so I had to keep going through, and this has taken, remember, decades of studying this thing. I knew what it was at the beginning, but I had to, as my knowledge progressed over the years, I had to, of course, make sure that I wasn't giving away a diamond crystal or some unknown rare mineral that was worth many more times than what this would be. And so no, everything came up. And you know, the pyrope refractive index, or garnet refractive index, covers such a wide range because even slight impurities in a garnet family member changes the refractive index. So if you're looking at, you know, almondine, and you're looking at pyrope, but then you have rhodolite that's a combination in between. You have Malaya garnet, that's another combination. So you have these wide, so refractive index in the garnet family is one of the, unless it's andradite and goes over the scale, then you might know it's andradite. But refractive index I find not as useful, put it that way. So, yeah, this piece is a magnificent piece. I don't know if well, it's one of those I don't care to sell it, but what is going to happen in my estate? Who is going to know? They're going to say, oh, look at this nice piece of slag, something, and out it goes. I've held it this long because, of course, you know it's my birthstone. It's part of my birthstone collection. It may be one of the crown jewels of my birthstone collection. You know how the Black Prince's ruby in the crown jewel of England, in the actual crown itself, was never a ruby. It was, of course, a Spinel from Tajikistan. So they really blew that one for quite a number of years. And this is actually very similar in color to that Spinel. You could actually cab this into a big cabochon. You could cut it into a lot of other stones. Anyway, this is a really neat piece, and I am going to offer it at a price I really don't know how to price it. I just know there is a rarity factor that has to be involved, because if it was one of those go find another ones, that's just not going to happen. This gets its world-class designation for size and for clarity. You can see with the conchoidal, I don't want to say fractures, but we'll just use that for lack of another term, just how crystalline this piece is for the size. And that's what you got to factor. You know, a lot of diamonds, the crystals can be found quite large, but they may cut stones of a lot of smaller size stones, smaller being, you know, let's say you found a 50 carat diamond, and it may not cut a 25 carat stone due to other inclusions. So they will saw it up into the best, and so it may cut some 5 caraters, 10 caraters, you know, wow, nothing wrong with that. This, I don't know, I think it stands alone for its size. That's what really gives its beauty. So anyway, a special piece from my garnet collection, and over 1,000 carats, and I know the origin of it. And so that is also a special factor, because you know how I am about that, and I was that way since a teenager. So I got this really young, you know, 14, 15 years old, and kept up with it, kept up with the my notes on it from the time, and a beautiful piece. So how about this? Let's just make it a amazing opportunity, and I just want it to find a great home. Someone to appreciate something that really I don't think can be found anywhere else. Only $258. $258 for that. And you know, I don't know. That's 30, less than 30 cents a carat. You don't sell something like that. You know, 30 cents a carat would be like $300. So, you know, 25 cents a carat. I don't know. You don't sell it like that. It's one of those things that, you know, go try to find another one. It's really could be in a museum as a representation of a garnet, and it's a stunning one due to the size and the clarity for the size that it is. Okay, I'm going to show you another rarity. This is item 1162324, and wow, because look at this. When are you ever going to get another opportunity to see another specimen with sphene crystals? Yeah. So if you thought only the ones from Pakistan, no. Look at these. Look at these. And there are some of the classic sphene colors, and then you have the bicolor ones too that have a couple of colors at play. Here is the thing about this, that once you can see the crystals and understand what's going on. All right, so here is the titanite, or the sphene, and you have then epidote. So all this other green you see here, and these elongated darker green crystals, those are epidote crystals. All these cream color, that is feldspar. Feldspar crystals, and in this case, they have a lovely pinkish color tone. This has been one of my collector specimens due to its uniqueness. Sphene from Morocco. And look at how glassy that is. Look at how gemmy that one is. As opposed to Pakistani sphenes, these are quite large. Here's again another long epidote. You can see where there's actually another crystal that came in here. Sphene is prone to twinning, so you may find some twinned crystals. That's a real interesting piece, and look at the clarity to that. Wow. So this is all a blend of Apatite and Feldspar. Now, remember pink Feldspar and green Apatite? That is going to be one of your, see the pink right in here? The more pink than some of the other. And Apatite. There is a name for a stone that is that. So there's gonna be a trivia question based on those two minerals. Look at that, look at that. Okay, so boy, this is again prettier to look at on these wonderful monitors, and it's beautiful in person, but I love to get to see it like that on this great HD system that we have here. Okay, that guy, this is the other deal. This material I got at a fantastic price. And so as opposed to a Pakistani piece, I think for the look for the money, it's a bargain. I'm gonna offer this one. Yeah, it's definitely a bargain compared to the Pakistani ones. Wow. Do I, will I, should I? $34. $34. A fantastic opportunity. And now, let me see. This is that one. Okay, now. Let's look at item 116-1824. 116-1824. I have never showcased anything like this for you before, and these came in an estate I had, and I am going to pass them on. I will let me show it to you first. Okay, look at these. Look at these, and they are absolutely, well, I guarantee them to function, but I am selling them as is. They all will work, and I will make sure they work. I will put a fresh battery in them for you. All of them are real easy to look at the quality of that. That is all beautiful lapis quartz. So it's a quartz watch, and it comes out real easy. The face of this, I thought I actually had it to where I could show you. Yeah, there we go. And so it just pops out, as simple as this, to change the battery. And I'm showing you this just so you know how wonderfully easy that is. And then it just comes out of this compartment. See this little ring that goes around it? And normally it doesn't come out with it, but so there's how you know how you can set the time, and then you can access the back. So and the back comes right off as well. So I will put a fresh battery in it, make sure it's running for you. And isn't that cool? Look at that. Look at that. One solid piece of lapis. And really, and a lapis face to the piece as well. So I'll just put that in there, and it's easy to straighten those if they're not okay. Oops, sorry. Let me put that right there. Now, I don't know what these those miniatures, they're collectible miniatures, and I'm sure that this one would have sold for a great deal more than what I'm offering it for. it's only going to be $77. Only $77. Now, let's look at item. We'll leave that there for a moment. 116-1924. Because if you want, let me see. Yep, you can get them all. Because I have another. Look at this one. And again, the front comes out to change the, look at that. Beautiful Colombian nephrite. I even have the battery number listed there, so you'll always know what number if you need to get a new battery. But look at that, solid all the way around, and really a really a neat piece. When, especially if, I tell you what, if you got the kind of set of them, that would be, a couple of them, that would be neat. Or put them with your, let's say a Lapis collection that you may have. That would be neat. Let me show you one more. This is item 11, oh, let me give you a price on this guy. That might help. Here we go. Okay, yeah. Let's keep it simple. Let's make it $77. How's that? And let's look at item 116-1724. And yes, I have one more. And that's why, if you collected the set, it would be cool. Because we're going to price this one as at the same price. And take a look at this. Malachite. Look at that. Look at that malachite. And beautiful all the way around. And this is really cool because this back just unscrews. So I have it here to where it can just unscrew. And then the battery's right there. You don't even have to take off anything else. So I don't have that screwed all the way down just to make it easy for myself. So price on that one, let's just keep it simple and say $77. Look at the three together. So isn't that pretty? That's pretty. I guess to be symmetrical, you would do it this way, huh? Now, that is a great use of gemstone minerals. That is a amazing set. And for them to all be carved, I didn't think the malachite could possibly be carved out of one piece because most of the times you don't see it. Yeah, no, there's little edges to that, but the other two out of one piece. So $77 each on those. All right, let me tuck those away. I'll be right back. What are we looking at here? Where do you get this kind of diffraction of colors and clarity combined in only high quality Labradorite? This necklace is beautiful, and I tell you what, for one thing, it is very transparent, translucent Labradorite, and so you can see the string in the middle. That gives away just that factor without me having to do anything else. Now, this necklace, so remember, color in Labradorite runs lamellarly, in other words, in layers. So if you have color on one side, you're going to, look at that, likely get the color on the other side as well. And these have been cut. Look at the purple, the rarest and most valuable color in Labradorite. And it only took going to the third bead to find it. Every one of these, look at that. Look at those colors and look at how many of the ones are purple. Imagine if those were individual cabochones. These, yeah, there isn't going to be one without a display of labradorescence. And again, I've had these a long time. And There it is. I know it was in there hiding somewhere. And the thing about it is this kind of material in this quality is a lot harder to find. And this, look at that, where you can see the string in the middle and then have that kind of play of color. And so in this parcel, what I've done is put together, there are 2 unstrung strands, and I noticed those other ones sold those barrel-shaped faceted ones, and these are along the same kind of quality. They're just beautiful, beautiful beads. So I don't know, maybe I showed you almost every one there, but wow, look at that. Look at that. So I think at any given time, you're going to have a wonderful, wonderful play of color. And now that was the one necklace, and here is the other. Both of these are part of the package, because a lot of people, you know, one strand is like 16 inches long, and many times that just won't work unless you add other items to it. But if you have 2 strands, you can make it whatever length you want, then a matching bracelet to go with it. And you can also have room to cull. In other words, if you want to even high grade a necklace and let's say get a 24-inch necklace and cull out 6 inches of the 7 inches of the, if there is a worst one, or the colors that you don't want in one, use it for the bracelet. But you can see these are really magnificent colors, and a lot of the purples and the pinks and the oranges, the ones that you know, are the more desirable colors. So I'm just going to set this one down for the moment, so I can give you the price of both strands. Both strands together, only $88. $88 for both strands. That is an excellent opportunity. 31 inches total in the 2 strands. So 440 carats of material. And let's see, 440 carats, $88. That should, I don't know, that should be some easy math to figure out. It sounds like, what, 20 cents a carat? I don't know, something like that. Maybe. Wow, I just love looking at those, at that kind of quality. So look at how well matched they are. All right, now let me show you. I have another Labradorite opportunity. Item 1162624. 1162624. And let's take a look at these. Again, this is another double 2 strands together in the parcel opportunity, or yeah, so I'm selling 2 strands so that you have plenty to work with. And look at these. These are freeform. And wow, I can tell you this, these are, again, by way of quality, translucency, color, there is colors in all kinds of different directions. So when you get them freeform like this, you have the opportunity for the color to be at all kinds of different angles. So you can see as you turn them, they are just showing color in one place or another. Look at that. Look at that. That actually looks like spectralite kind of darkness and vibrancy. So here is also, look, the translucency is fantastic on these. Here's also what is a good thing about these is the value for those. So again, it's 32 inches total in the 2 strands, 600 carats, and I don't know why I've marked it at this price, but I guess there is a reason. Both strands, $38. Both strands, only $38. And so look at all that for $38, and I know that won't last. I think that has to be something that I did wrong. If you look at the total carat weight, I don't know why they're so much less than the others. These are quite heavy, quite large, and just beautiful. These are on fishing string, by the way, which is a great thing to string it on. It is going to be plenty strong. You can actually use the fishing line if, unless you want to make them longer. I just temporarily just tied it off so I could hang it around one of the necks. But it's real easy, of course, with fishing line to restring these back through the holes. And then you can make a knot, use and melt fishing line. You can do all kinds of easy things with it. And by using the different thicknesses of fishing line, you can make the necklaces much more flexible. And well, anyway, if you string, you know about all those tricks. All right, now look at this. Look at this. Wow. 116 27 24. 116 27 24, and this could really almost be sapphire. It really could be. Look at that. Wow. 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 The color. That is striking. Brazilian kyanite. Brazilian kyanite. And the last I had sold, as I would expect this strand will as well, and I am fighting with the Labradorites to get them back in while I talk. Okay, so you know, kyanite is one of those unusual minerals. It has two different hardnesses depending on the direction of the crystal. It can affect some of the chatoyancy, the way it may look and be displayed. So as you move some of the kyanite around, you may get some of these chatoyant reflections and plays of that because of the striations in the crystal. So you can also get a blend of colors. But I love it. I love kyanite. I love kyanite. And I only have this one strand. So I have a really good opportunity on it though. So the one strand is only $36. Only $36, and it is beautiful. Just temporarily or permanently on fishing line. So you can leave it just like it is, add a catch to it. You can leave it just as it is and add a catch further back to make it even adjustable. You know, do something clever because you don't even have to restring it. That will stretch out. It'll be all nice and even. All you have to do is wear it and enjoy it that way. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, oh, what did I find? I do have another amber insect. Oh, item 1162924. Let's take a look at these because they are always a lot of fun to look at. Now, this is a one with, and this is from a long time ago when I got these, the information I had. So I actually have the name of the type of fly that this is. Suppose it. Now, obviously, an entomologist would probably say, well, that's really a, you know, it's something like, kind of thing that we'd call it a crocodile and it's really alligator kind of thing. But a crane fly. This is a crane fly. Let's take a look at this incredible piece of amber. Look at that color. By the way, just for an example, if you did something like the kyanite with a drop, look at that, with a amber drop, that color contrast is amazing. And look at that, you can see that fly with your eye with no problem. So let's take an even closer look at this guy and see what all we've got. Well, there he is. There it is in all of its glory. Wow. Now, that's resolution. That is clarity. You see how it's different? It's not a mosquito. Its little abdomen is too long, and it has those really long legs. Look at the length of those legs. And then both wings intact. Many times what happens, the resin, as they come in contact with the tree material, as it dries, it'll still be moving, and the animal will be stuck, and it will pull the legs and wings off. And so oftentimes you'll see other body parts. Oh, hold on. I'm going to show you one right there. Let me get my pointer. And look at that. That is even better clarity. So there's a leg that's been pulled off, and it looks like there's another one in the process. I love oftentimes looking at the organic matter, because many times it's pollen. Many times you'll see the where the insect struggled, and it'll leave little marks in the hardening amber as it struggled. This is 40 million years old. All of a sudden just captured in time. And let's rotate this and get another viewpoint of it. And there it is. Look at that again. Really great definition. And it's just I don't know. It's like 40 million years, and I'm staring at something that has all of its organic parts to it. And that is spooky in a way, because maybe some things weren't still supposed to be around. Wow, look at that. A crane fly. Don't know if we have that exact same species, but I certainly have heard of a crane fly. Okay, price on this guy, you're gonna love it. This crane fly, excellent opportunity. It's only $48. Only $48 for that. All right, let me tuck it away and I'll be right back. All right, so if you didn't like that other sphinx, I have another one to show you. But first, I want to show you also what you're going to get. But first, if you look, door number 1, you will find, hold on, let me take the surface of this off because it's brand new. But I am going to include one of those suspension boxes. Yep, see that? I'm still peeling off the paper off of it. So that makes it look really cool because you can see from both sides. I'll let you do the rest of the peeling of the paper off because time is a-wasting. Okay, look at this particular specimen with that Feldspar crystal, just orthoclase right up there, but just not the one. Look at all of the others, and then when you really start looking at it, it's really nothing but a conglomeration of crystals of Feldspar, orthoclase for the most part, but then you have the sphinx. Titanite, you know, is actually the more common name that the mineralogists use, and I can probably see why. I like it because Titanite makes sense pertaining to the element inside of sphinx. Look at that. That looks like a twinned crystal of sphinx, possibly. You have all these others are sphinx crystals. And actually, let me put a light. Let's see if we can just backlight some of these. I don't know how dark some of these are and what will show. Let's backlight this one. Look at that color. Oh, there we go, Dave. Great job. There we go. Look at that. Wow. And then look at the other ones. Wow, look at all the translucency to this. Let's come back over here. Ah, look at that. It really stands those green crystals standing out in the translucency of them. Look at that. Look at that, how pretty. Oh, I thought so. So that one, look at that. Those do have a translucency of green to them. Uh-huh. Thank you, sir. Ah, another one. All these. Yeah. So look at that. That's what we were looking at a moment ago. And then, thanks to Dave and his lighting, we got to see the fact that those are really all wonderful clarity and have greenish color tones. So look at how well defined that Feldspar crystal is, orthoclase. Don't see that too often. And then you have this that is full of epidote, the other epidote crystals like the other one, and Feldspar. So quite a unique specimen indeed. And then these orange crystals, that might take some figuring out. It could, oh, I have seen that on some other specimens, some of those Jones mine specimens have some of that material on them. All right. It would look beautiful if someone got both of those specimens, because here is the other one and they would look great together, this one and that one. So just flashing that in again. All right, going back to this one, give you an excellent opportunity price on it of only $48. $48. So, yeah, a good deal indeed. Now, let me get over here, and here we go. Item 115-9024. Here is another opportunity that I think was overlooked, missed. And let's look at this as we clean this off. Okay, look at those guys. Those are zircons. Look at the color. And you know, you see I included the brownish part only because when you tilt that back, that angle, you kind of get that kind of color. But I don't really see any brownish red in there. I am seeing a violet purple red. I don't know, something really pretty. But not going to take those out. Don't have the time because also, again, how I've priced them, yeah. Because especially sale priced, yeah, oh my, what? Those two stones, $38 for both stones, $38. That is kind of crazy. Now, while you're looking at that for a moment, I want to flash this in because 100 years ago, if you wanted to know what your money looked like, there is a 1924 peace dollar, all 90% silver, and that is a true silver dollar. And the money was really beautiful. The engravers did an amazing job then, and anyway, you can see the engravers' initials right there, and 100-year-old silver dollar. So that is sometimes a rock, sometimes a lucky silver dollar is all we need, right, to change our fortune in life. Mm-hmm. Okay, now I have a bag. Okay, let me just show you. Well, maybe next week. Okay, here's what I want to show you. Item 115-1824. 115-1824. And there is not too many of these I am ever going to have to offer. And this one is one of the last. So let me just clean this off real quick here. for a moment. Put this cheesy tray that Asif doesn't like up here. And let me show you. Faceted rainbow androdite. Look at that. Look at that guy. And he is, look at that. Look at the faceting on that. Let me take this off and put it there, actually. Look at the sides even. And, you know, I had talked about what created the colors in this material. And it's the slight difference between androdite and grossular garnet in very thin separate layers. And the diffraction of, look at that on the side, of lighting between those two different refractive indexes. Look at the purple on that. Creates that. Look at the translucency in this, the way we have the lighting set so that you can actually see into that. Look at the light there. So to facet this material, this is the finest rainbow androdite in the world. And to facet it and show all those colors off even harder. But you can see that color is found at almost every angle in these garnets, just depending on how it relates to the crystal. Look at that. What a beautiful, beautiful opportunity. Closed in 05. It was only really open for about a year, year and a half. And then the Tenkawa village elders shut it down to the point to where they were arresting us rockhounds. How were you going to keep, yes, Japan has lots of rockhounds actually, and how are you going to keep them away from such a unique world discovery? But they did. They've managed it. They've closed it down since 05. No more access. What was found and retrieved is all there's going to be. And I happen to be lucky enough to have gotten a hold of some of this material that I have offered with all of you at such a low opportunity price. Okay, this faceted jewel, I'm going to offer this one on sale, making it, wow, I don't know. Let's do this. Make it less than 60 a carat, only $148. $148 on that one. And that is in a big stone, high quality stone, something that you're just not going to find. And if you did, the price on it would be shocking, shocking on those faceted ones especially. So now, I'm going to show you that one. Then to go with it, wouldn't it be nice if 1150923, 1150923. Wouldn't it be nice if you had, let's see what I'm pulling out here. It's wrapped up, so I am not exactly sure, but I have a feeling. Here is this. Ah, look at this. Look at that. I like it. A labeled box for the Nara Prefecture, Tenkawa. That's what I said about where the grouchy elders live that won't let us rockhounds go and dig this material. Look at that. That is a stunning cluster, you know, a thumbnail, what they call a thumbnail. And they actually have contests for people that enter thumbnail competitions. In other words, crystal specimens that, you know, the common person like you and I can afford. And so you can see that this is crystallized all the way around. So it is actually really almost perfect. All those well-formed garnet crystals. And look at all the colors at all those different angles. And let me, wow. Wow. That is a fantastic opportunity, especially with the labeled box like that. So that, if you display that with that faceted garnet, you know, with it, that would make for a really beautiful, beautiful display. Yep. Anyway, price on that guy. How about, I have no idea. Okay, I will. I'm going to do this at a sale price and make it unbelievably, let's do this, $77. Only $77. And so, yeah, if you had that one and the faceted stone, you'd have really an amazing collection of something that's really, really rare. And is the mine's extinct, the material. Go on the internet. All you have to do is go on the internet, and I challenge you to go and price shop if you can even find the material and look at what they're asking for it, and your jaw will drop. Mine certainly did, and then I realized everything I had given away so inexpensively, but you know what? It didn't change a single thing. I'm still right back here hawking the stuff even less expensive. So, yeah, just take the opportunity. Here, I knew there was something else I wanted to make sure that you saw. And this is item number 1163924. 1163924. Now, this goes back to Shawn and his magnet. Okay, so look at the quality of this Madagascar Almondine. And this material is facet grade quality. They're preforms. Like, take for example this large cab. You know, a preform for faceting, you just turn it upside down. In other words, the bottom becomes the top. Look at the clarity to that. Look at that. So all you do is start faceting from here, which makes it really easy. Can you imagine the color that that would bring? That is almondine, which is your iron garnet. So to prove that, let's see what happens here. Whoa, there we go. And that's what I'm talking about by having mostly, all iron for, in other words, very little rhodolite composition, which is going to be mostly pyrote with the 30% almondine. And look at the clarity. Look at the clarity of these. So these look straight up almondine. Now, almondine can come in many different colors. It isn't always, to me, this looks like some of that very valuable rhodolite, that purplish color rhodolite that has come out of North Carolina even before. But look at all these. These are all stones that could be faceted. Although they're beautiful as cabs, they would make, for the faceter, that's just a gook on the bottom, a wonderful opportunity to use these as preforms and facet from them, or do some of both, especially like that one. Emerald cut that one, and that big oval down there, ooh, that would pay for the whole parcel. Okay, so this is the good stuff if you haven't familiarized yourself with really nice almondine. And I am offering all those 20 carats of material. You know, I don't know. To get facet grade material, the rough itself would cost more than what I'm asking for what would be preforms, which isn't the way it's supposed to work. $38 for the parcel. Only $38 for the parcel there. And yeah, that's a excellent value, of course. And if you didn't even want to recut them and just leave them as they are and keep them in a tube, they look beautiful. And that's the joy of gemstones. You don't have to do anything with them, but look at them. Okay, let me see. On this last, I have a quantity of 2. Item 1114923. 80 to 95% of the world production of peridot, August birthstone, comes from the San Carlos Apache Reservation. Look at this. Look at this material. And this is the real deal. So this is, and you can tell because of the shape of the material that it is has a rhyolite origin, and because it's like a non-crystalline type of look to it. But look at this. A lot of this material is going to facet, and if nothing else, well, you could also tumble it, but to me, it's just the prettiest kind of as it is. Look at that. It looks like, you know, like turquoise nuggets, and wow, look at that. So 40 carat parcels. I have that parcel, and here's the other one. So they only have 2 parcels left, and a lot of it facet grade quality. I am offering these parcels at only, my goodness. Let's do this. Let's make them only $15 each. $15 each. That's a bargain. And, I mean, if you like peridot, you have to have it in your collection. And if you have peridot in your collection, it needs to be made in America. It needs to be probably the most famous peridot there really is, and that's the Arizona San Carlos Apache Reservation material. So grab it while you can. Those are the only 2 parcels I have. You're welcome to take them both if you wish, and then you'll have a larger amount to work with or to go through and look at for fasting. Let me show you something. 116-2224. So speaking of some of the last ofs, I at one time had a good deal of Mexican fire opal, and I do not anymore, but I had set aside a parcel of it, batch of it. So here it is, and it's still wet. And, oh, yeah, let me get you that item number is 116-2224. There we go, 250 carats, and that's 250 carats dry. So you can see there's fire in, now there's fire opal and then there's precious fire opal. The precious fire opal is the reddish material opal with a play of color in it, like you saw in that one piece there. I don't know what all's here. It's a mixed bag, some with, look how big that piece is with the rhyolite. It's, look at all that. Okay, there's some cool stuff in here. I'm not, if I open it up and start looking at it, my idea of the price is going to likely change. So I'm just going to leave it like it is, take it like it is. It's the only parcel I have. $21. How's that? You can't really go wrong for $21. Look at that entire piece in the rhyolite. That entire piece is opal and translucent. Pretty cool. Look at that. Like that Cuartero opal, where you cut the opal, look at the fire, with the rhyolite around it. And so a piece like this would work perfect for that. So anyway, you can tumble this as well, or you can just possess it. The white opals like that, when they have a play of color. See, I just saw green in there. All right, if I take that out, I would be asking way more than $21. So I better leave it right there, and then grab something else to show you. That'll take my mind off of raising the price. Here we go. this is a fun parcel. Item 115023. I was just looking at some other things I want to show you, but we'll do that next week. Okay. So what do I, I'm not sure what I actually have here. Here, my handy dandy little cheapo tray. And then let's see, look at this. My goodness. Okay, here is a mix. Wow. There is everything here from faceted stones to some nice faceted stones, which to some really cool crystals. There's tourmaline, and here is hessonite garnet, faceted garnets, heart-shaped. Look at the rubies. So there are rainbow hessonite, or rainbow garnet, hessonite garnet, almondine, and 6 more types of gemstones. Wow. That's pretty neat. What in the world is that? That looks, is that indicolite? Or, I better not find something really cool. That is, oh, look at that. That is a blue capped piece of tourmaline. That is interesting. And look at that. Hope that's not tourmaline. So anyway, there's a lot of neat stuff, and that is a gem collector's delight right here. Look at this. That is a tourmaline. Wow. That should change the price, but I'm not going to. I am going to sale price this. How about a sale price opportunity of the entire lot for only $38. Only $38 on that. And a deal. Okay, looks like probably we're coming up on the last item of the show. 1162124. And let me see what this surprise brings us as I struggle to get it out. But everything is well packed. All right, yes, look at this. Okay, for you lucky folks or want to know someone to give that to, look at that. Now that is a really difficult item to carve, a dice or a die. And even though it looks like, you know, it's going to fall apart in the next minute, it won't. If it could go through the process of being made into a die, then I think it'll survive a little bit longer. So it's an excellent opportunity for someone to get in on a real unique item if they want to give it to someone that, you know, can really appreciate it. And it is one of those items that no one else is going to have. So one of a kind and opportunity priced. I am going to make that guy, let's make it only $15. How's that? $15. Okay, so one moment, while we're talking about real amber, I just want to go over Copal. Copal is amber, not amber at all. Copal is young resin that has not polymerized or gone through the process of polymerization, which chemically alters the resin itself. And this could be anywhere from a few years to 1,000 to 10,000 to 100,000 years. What it is amber, which can take millions of years to form. So it can look very similar, and this is a piece of Colombian copal, and they can actually heat this up and put salamanders, scorpions, all kinds of things, and sell it off as amber. So I am showing you this as a warning, buyer beware. If it's too good to be true, that is, it will not be what you think it is. They're very creative with able to heating this material up and what they can do with it. So I just wanted to show you what an actual piece of Colombian copal looks like, and how easy it would be to think that you're getting a piece of amber if it's being offered as amber. This is hard, you know, but there are ways to be able to tell the difference, and everything from a hot pin to rubbing it for the aroma to salt water, etc. Okay, with that, that'll end the show on an educational note, and we'll be back with the trivia. It's that time, always after a fun, successful show. We like to do trivia, and that's where I ask a couple questions, either a lot of times pertaining to what you just watched, or something more recent, or just something that, seeing if you know, thinking that maybe something you should know and or learn, and we do it through a trivia question. So I have many angles to get to your brain. For everyone, comments are more than welcome. You don't have to participate in the trivia whatsoever, and you know, you can see many people don't get the answers correct, so it's okay. It's okay to be wrong. Better to attempt to answer a question with the knowledge that you have than to not answer it at all like you have no knowledge whatsoever. So, you can always have a really good high chance at winning something. You know, there was what, 1 in 4 to win something as cool as what we give away. Other times more, but yeah, participate if you want, but if you don't, we also encourage your comments and just hope that you enjoy the show. I appreciate every single one of you and all of you that have subscribed. I appreciate that, even though I don't think I've ever asked, you know, make sure you know, check the like box or subscribe. I didn't even know that was a thing, you know. I'm not from that generation, but when marketing told me that we had hit the 10,000 subscriber mark, I thought, oh, okay, and that's cool, and I think that's really neat. I really appreciate all of you who have joined on. So keep it coming, and we're going to keep the show coming with 7 years now, and coming up this April, and you know, I'm looking more like an old grizzled old miner, but hey, as long as I can still talk and the brain still works, and I can still add to my knowledge through looking down to the ground, because you never know what's to be found, as Jimbo often says, with a combination of Anthony as well. So, all right, couple questions for you. Let's see how you do. Now, remember, you can watch the show as many times as you want, but up to this point, when I start asking the trivia questions, you know, then you can't look back after you hear the questions. Good luck. All right, question number 1. What semi-precious, you know this one was coming, what semi-precious gem is composed of pink feldspar and Apatite? I have asked this question before, but I did it in another format, another way. So, what semi-precious gem is composed of pink feldspar and Apatite? As you saw, it those two are found for some reason in conjunction with each other around the world in different places, and it was kind of neat to see it in that form, which is a much more granular form. In other words, you couldn't cut a cabochon out of those specimens I showed you, but yet it was still made up of those two elements, of those two minerals. Okay, next question is, what mentioned garnet other than andradite helps create the iridescence in Japanese rainbow garnet? What mentioned garnet other than andradite helps create the iridescence in Japanese rainbow garnet? All right, so, and that is one, you learn that one, and it is a great knowledge, a great level of knowledge it would usually show if you were standing around talking with other rockhound friends and you got talking about iridescence and Japanese garnet, and then if you actually knew what caused the color, it would just make you look good, okay? All right? Wouldn't be showing off. It would just make you kind of look good, like you had some knowledge up there, and like you had more than one rock. You had a couple rocks going on up there. Okay, hope you all tune in back again next week. You saw how on track we are with getting the show up and posted. So we have a couple new team members that have got their stuff together in that department now. So hopefully we've fixed some of those scattered postings that we were having problems. And yeah, if never know, you can get them maybe even earlier, but yeah, Mondays it's been right on. So gotta hand it to the new gang that has taken over doing that, and I really am appreciative for it because I get the little notices too, and it's often posted many hours before I actually get the notice, which is fine, but yeah, we're on track. Okay, so. Let me see if I covered everything else. I guess I have for now. Look forward to next week. And the way I already know, I already like to know what inventory I'm going to be, new inventory I'm going to be adding. And so, as you can see, we had everything from unusual little clocks. And, you know, I'll put a battery in them. I'll get them working and running. But the whole idea is not for a timepiece. The whole idea is for the miniature version and the cool factor of what you can really do with minerals and beautiful semi-precious gems, and how much better malachite, nephrite, lapis looks than a little brass clock. Give me a rock or a mineral anytime over a brassy kind of look, you know? Rocks first. Rock on. All of you, take care. God bless, and stay safe. And I'll see you next Monday. Cheers.